Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin. I'm going to show you how to play the quintessential first guitar song, that is Smoke on the Water. Here's how the finished product is going to sound. And then we're going to add power chords to make it. So to play this riff, I'm going to reference everything on the low E string, and basically you start with your first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. And then you go to the 6th fret, and then you go to the 8th fret. So remember that pattern, 3, 6, 8. That's going to be important. 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, 8. Now that's the first line of this riff. The second line is exactly the same with one slight variation. The second line goes 3, 6, 9, 8. So you're on the 3rd fret and the 6th fret, and then the 9th fret, and then the 8th fret. So our first two lines are like this. 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 8. And then the third line is exactly the same as the first, just 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 8. And then it's real simple, it just walks back down, 6, 3. Okay, so real slow, all on one string. With that one finger, you can play this riff as 3, 6, 8, onto the second line, 3, 6, 9, 8. Again, the first line, 3, 6, 8, walk it down, 6, 3. Now, if you're just beginning, stop there, practice that, drill it, get good at it. But if you want to take it a little further, I'm going to show you how to play power chords. Now, what are power chords? Without getting too deep into the music theory, the power chord is a fifth, which is what's called an interval. You'll learn about those later. But a power chord is the fifth added to the note you're playing. So if I'm playing on the 3rd fret down here, I'm going to add this D with my 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string. And that D is the 5th of that G, right? And it sounds like this. The reason we call them power chords is because, they're not really major, they're not really minor. The 5th doesn't add any tonality. That's what major and minor are. So these are called power chords because they're just raw power. There's no major or minor anything to them. So that's the first version of power chords you'll see. 2 strings like that. Now sometimes, and if you're a beginner, seriously, don't worry about this right now, but sometimes you'll see that 4th finger get added to the 5th fret of the D string. So again, if we're playing a power chord with our first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, we got this note. We got our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string for this note. And we got our 4th finger on the 5th fret of the D string for this note. And what you'll notice is that this note, the low one on the 3rd fret there, on the low E string, and the note on the D string are actually the same note, they're just octaves apart. And all that means is that they're the same note, just kind of in different registers. Sounds a little fuller, but for now we're just going to focus on playing the version of the power chords that has the 1st finger and the 3rd finger kind of making this shape, you can see. And the easy thing about power chords is you can just move that shape around. So, start on the 3rd fret, go to the 6th fret, because we're playing Smoke on the Water, right? And the shape is the same. So your 3rd finger is now on the, the 8th fret of the A string. And if you go to the 8th fret on the low E string for that final note in the first line of Smoke on the Water, then your 3rd finger is going to be on the 10th fret of the A string. So that first line would be... You can see how that hand shape kind of stays the same no matter where you move it. And you can play the whole riff like that. Helps make it sound a lot fuller. If you're just beginning guitar, I hope that you started here because this is an excellent first song to play. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.